So Trump's energy policy has been very direct for a long time. The good thing, I suppose, is that he's very clear on what he wants to do. So this will give at least the international energy world a chance to reassemble and recalibrate their approach to America when it comes time to their energy business strategy. Okay, Trump really wants to take the brakes off of non-renewable sources. He wants to get rid of methane fees. He wants to end the pause of LNG terminals and the transportation of LNG through American ports. And in general, he wants to inspire the non-renewable sector to get back on its feet, opening up the XL pipeline again with Canada, because he sees this as a long-term play for the US's energy security through energy dominance. That's his main idea and his main strategy. Naturally, this is going to impact the energy world significantly, because with this, he's looking to increase the production of oil to bring down inflation. And this will obviously bring down prices globally. And OPEC then will have a big role to play in how they respond to this themselves, because this is going to impact their markets as well. And we will see what the long-term ramifications of this is. But his main ambition is to lower the cost of day-to-day activities for the American public. Through this, he thinks keeping non-renewable sources as his main driver of energy security is the way forward.
What do you think the implications are going to be of this for global climate efforts? Specifically, what do you think we can expect from the US at COP29?
Yeah. Well, again, Trump won't be there for COP29 himself, since he's president-elect now. But if this logic were to continue, and look at COP30, right? Because 29, we'll see a residue of Biden's climate policies finishing up, I suppose you'd say, and any agreements that the US make at COP29 won't really hold, because when Trump comes into office again, these are going to change. Okay, so that's why we can't really expect much from the US side to agree on anything substantial, because the new administration will not live up to it, because they weren't responsible for creating these agreements in the first place. So it's going to be strictly looking at how, again, the US's energy security needs can be met. And COP is a place where renewables will be talked about, financing the energy future for the emerging markets will be talked about. But Trump doesn't have an appetite to finance the future of other countries if it doesn't benefit the US itself. So any financing that the US has pledged in Biden's time for these efforts will be drastically cut back by Trump. The World Bank, in fact, relies a lot on the US for these climate efforts to fund them, and this will be pulled back dramatically, and which will leave again another financing gap for the renewable world, which will need to be filled by other players, or they would need to reconfigure their strategies within the confines of this new financial reality, or this new budget reality rather.
Then what do you think Trump's return means for the US auto sector and for global EV markets? Specifically, what do you think it's going to mean for Tesla? As we've seen, Elon Musk is a strong supporter of Trump, while Trump is generally viewed as anti-EV.
I think Trump's policies are options. He wants to give the American consumer options as to how they want to live their life. So these mandates to phase off of combustion engines and go towards EV as a mandatory legislation to take hold, these things again put automakers under huge pressure to transition. And they are working very closely with governments to ease these expectations, because they won't be able to fulfill them. So Trump, I think, is going to be seen favorably, although maybe not so loudly by the automaking world, because they are going to need time if this is going to come to be. But he's going to give the American consumer an option. You can buy an EV from Tesla, right, from BYD, from whomever, or you can still buy your Ford, your combustion engine, right, and live a life with optionality involved. Which is why bringing down the cost of oil is going to be important for even the production of any kind of car, because again, oil is used to drive the infrastructure for the automobile world. So this, I think, is a good thing for the American consumer. But as it relates to reducing emissions, there's a big question as to what this means for that. I don't think it's going in the right direction, but you can't have everything you want at the same time, as well.
And turning now to China,
yes.
The U.S. has already imposed higher tariffs on EVs, solar panels, and other clean tech imports from China.
Yes.
What does Trump's return mean for Chinese business in these industries, especially those that are eyeing the U.S. and other overseas markets, investors, and U.S.-China climate cooperation? What do you think we can expect?
They really have three options. The manufacturers of these products really have three options. It's either move your operations somehow to the US to avoid paying these tariffs, take the hit with these tariffs, or find new markets for your production, right? There is a fourth option, which is lobbying to have your products exempted from these tariffs, but not everyone will take that, and there's going to have to be a strong reason as to why that is. And typically it's American companies who produce abroad that get these exemptions, as opposed to Chinese companies based in China who are looking to export into the US. So if, for example, the EU were to take a similar stance to this, I think this would cause a lot of concern for the production of these materials from China, because then their two biggest markets will be cut off or would be made more expensive to actually export their products to, which may actually stabilize markets and may actually improve the manufacturing industry in Germany, for example. But this isn't good news, I think, for Chinese producers and also for exporters of the end product and also of materials in this space.